Dadhood. Modern Dadhood Podcast.
And 3, 2, 1, and clap.
You don't say and clap.
Yeah, we do. We say and clap.
Never once have you or I ever said and clap.
Look, I'm going to warn you, there's a trumpet lesson happening in my house, one floor above where we are right now. So you may hear
I can hear it.
intermittent trumpet.
That is so wonderful and wholesome. I think.
And you know what? That's just modern dadhood. So we're going to roll with it.
That we are 100% going to roll with it.
Speaking of modern dadhood.
Yeah.
How about this podcast we're recording?
This podcast being an ongoing conversation about the joys, challenges, and general insanity of being a dad in this moment, you mean?
Correct.
Some of the challenges and insanity having to do with the trumpet right now, which I just was thinking you should definitely see if you can get her to do the theme motif, the modern dadhood theme motif.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, give her a little thing to work towards, and we'll get it in. We'll get it in the show. Hey, listen, my name is Mark Checkett, and I'm a dad to 2 boys who are 8 and 8.
And I'm Adam Flaherty. I'm a dad to 2 daughters who are 12 and 9. And man, we say it a lot, but time is flying. It feels like we're going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I am the family Uber driver.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Activities,
the kids, yeah, they got
outdoor
places.
Activities, soccer, chorus concerts, band concerts,
friends,
all of it.
They've got friends,
tons of them.
Sometimes they need to be carted around to and fro.
Birthday parties, yeah.
Well, we just had, so I'm coming to you, dear listeners, from New Hampshire, and we recently had our spring break. So the kids were off for an entire week. When do you do what? You're a Maynard. When do you have? I think
we were the week before you, maybe?
Yeah, we're the weird one because Massachusetts also, I believe, is the week before our week. So so we had a week where the kids were off. We went down to Florida to visit Mimi and go swimming in Mimi's pool. That's Grandma, and it was nice. It was really nice. We took in some aquarium things. We went to the beach. I feel like it was an all around good time. I wouldn't say relaxing, because when is taking your kids on an airplane to a different state and doing things for days ever relaxing? But it was really nice. What about you?
Well, we had a vacation week, and I worked from home and did everything I could to keep my kids away from the television and outside. And I think it was mostly successful. Super quick for listeners. Thank you for being here with us. If you like the show, please subscribe wherever you listen. If you have 30 seconds or even 15 seconds, leave us a review where you listen so other people can see that you like the show and maybe they'll give it a try. And then, go to moderndadhood.com for all the stuff. Links out to all of our socials and in a contact form where you can write to us if you want to. We want you to feel included in this thing.
Yeah, if you want trumpet lessons at Adam's house, just reach out. Yeah.
Mark, why don't you let listeners know who our guest is today? Because we're going to get to that real quick, I think.
I'm actually really excited about today's guest. And I would venture to say that I'm going to use the word many of our listeners have come across our guest's content. That's fair, right? Like it's got to be a lot of people.
It's all over the internet.
All over the internet. Some would use the word viral. His name is Chip Leighton. He makes very funny content on TikTok, Instagram, not all, but very centered around his experiences with marriage and being a dad to teenagers. And I think that the texts from my teenager content is probably what so many of our listeners have definitely come across in their feeds. But he's a really funny dude. He's an author. He has a new book out. He has another book that's a New York Times bestseller. And dare I say he's now a friend of the show.
A friend of the show and a fellow Mainer like me.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
So we're going to talk to Chip all about his social platforms that kind of unexpectedly took off, his books, and more. And I don't know, Mark, should we just go ahead and do that now?
I think we should go ahead and do it now. And I think I also want to say to the listeners, stick around to the end because Adam here architected a very fun, interactive thing for the three of us. So
there's a game.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
All right, here we go. Chip Leighton is a father of two who is described on his website as not your typical Instagram or TikTok celebrity, despite finding huge success with his fatherhood-themed content that he releases under the name The Leighton Show. He also happens to be a New York Times best-selling author, and we'll talk about that too. So, Chip, welcome to Modern Dadhood.
Hey, thanks. Happy to be here.
Glad to connect with you. So tell us first and foremost just about your family. It sounds like your kids are late teens, early 20s. What is life like for you as a dad?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've been married for over 25 years. We've got two kids who are now one son, one daughter who are 18 and 22 now. So I'm known online for a lot of the teenager related content I do. I'm down to one teenager now, but it's fun. We have a great family.
It's funny. 25 years. First of all, wow. Congratulations. That's
a big achievement.
That's a hell of an achievement. Yeah. That's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah. It's, I do my best. I've done a lot of, I haven't done it as much lately, but I've done a lot of like marriage related content online. I did this series on things I've apologized to my wife for, which got a lot of attention, but
yeah. I'd be lying if I said I didn't find those both funny, but also, yeah. Okay. No, I've apologized for that as well. Yes. I feel that very closely. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. You share lots of hilarious quotes and questions from your teenage kids. And I feel like I've started to hear similar ones in my house. My daughters are 12 and 9, so a little younger, but I start to hear a lot of the same types of questions. And for parents listening who aren't familiar with Chip or his social media, I just want to share a few of my favorites just so like people get a taste of the type of humor that we're talking about.
Sure.
One of your Instagram reels has some quotes, including, and these are texts that they sent to you. One of them is, "My bus crashed. We're in a ditch, but it's chill," which I love. Another one of my favorites is, "Dad, I'm handling something at the police station. Just letting you know that I'll still be at work." Another great one, "If you're not in the MRI tube yet, can you send me the 4-digit Netflix code?" Which is like something my kids would do.
Yeah.
No regard for what you may be going through and how miserable it might be. And quick question, what's the vibe for grandma's funeral? Which just hit me.
I would go with grief, but that's just me.
Yeah. Let's go with, are you asking dress code? Are you asking?
Right.
Yeah. What
believe it or not, I've heard some version of that from like multiple families. That is a kind of a common teenager question of like, hey, is there like a theme or a vibe? What's going on? So.
Yeah, the theme is plaid. Just show up in plaid. You'll look great.
Right.
Vibe. I mean, you have to know. I mean, I guess I'm stating the obvious, but it's like it's its own language. We probably had like our own words when we were like younger, but I feel like it's definitely amplified now, and like the vernacular is even greater, and things are added at a faster rate. But it's like you just have to understand what vibe actually means, which I don't know that I could really define it in the proper way. But I don't know. Maybe it's a perfectly legitimate, okay question to ask. What's the vibe for grandma's funeral? I don't know.
Well, it actually is. I mean, I always like to point out, like because I do a lot of like teenager related content. Like I'm not trying to make fun of kids and I'm not trying to criticize parents either, but it's like there's probably a lot of kids who have never been to a funeral before. Right. And so when their grandparent dies, that's the first time. So they wouldn't know. Right. And so it's like, they're thinking about it like another event they've been to. And, I've heard other funeral related stuff like, does it cost money to get in, or do we have to get invited, or how does the whole thing work? So that's why. So my first book was called What Time Is Noon, which was a collection of these teenager texts. And that's why I chose that title, because I think that's the perfect example, because I've heard it from like a dozen parents, some version of that question their kid asked them. And it's like, well, if you're a parent, you would never think like, oh, I got to explain to my kid what noon is,
Right.
it wouldn't occur to you. But, and if you're a kid and no one's explained it to you, well, you might not know what it is, right? Like if you hadn't been exposed to it. So there's like no fault on either side, but it just creates this funny moment, and that's the kind of the core of a lot of what I share. So.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of parents messaging you, DMing you, emailing you with sharing their own texts that are equally as absurd?
Yeah. I mean, this whole platform started with me sharing, I did some marriage stuff, but I shared some like, funny texts from my teenage daughter that kind of went viral, and it kept going. And then it turned into this platform where people from all over just share their texts with me from their kids. And that's like almost all of what I feature now is other families, funny texts, and it makes for, a bigger collection and, a really funny set of them. So that is my, my kids' biggest source of feedback is like, you got to make it much clearer. These are not all our texts. Like my friend thinks I'm an idiot here. This is crazy.
That's great. I'm curious, like going back to the first time that you had a series of these texts and you thought to yourself, like, I'm going to put this online. Like, I guess what led you to decide to do that? And did you have a sense at all at that time that it would be something that like resonates with people in such a way?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I started using TikTok in like maybe late 2020, early 2021. And like, I thought it was a really cool platform because it's like, there'd never been anything like it where you could like, somebody with no following can share something. And if it's funny or engaging, it could go to thousands or even millions of people. And so I was like, I'd love to try to throw some stuff out there, see if it's funny. And I started with like different kind of stuff. It was like different trends and like weird, funny stuff. And it didn't really work. I had like 17 followers after like 6 months. And then I started posting like some stuff about marriage and then like these texts from my teens, and like they like blew up. And so it was like, oh, I guess I should like just be posting about my life. And it's like, that's like, there's enough people out there like me that are going to relate to this and, send it to their kid or their husband or whatever. And so like, that was kind of the big unlock for me. It was like, oh, it's like, it's this community out there, and it's grown into this crazy community where people in the comment section will, throw in their funny texts or things that happen in their house. And so, it was a bit of an evolution, but, and I kind of stumbled into something that turned into something bigger,
Yeah.
Do you remember the first one that really took off?
It was a marriage one. It was a trend at the time. There was like this sound bite of around like love, and it was just like a series of images of like, what it's like to be married. And it was like, like the stack of Amazon boxes on the front porch and like the empty gas tank in the car, and like, the wife with like a screen, like her phone, like glowing screen, like late at night lying in bed, or just like some, like nothing crazy, but like, kind of some things that people are like, oh my God. Like I remember the last image was like this, it was like the car. It was like a scraped up like front quarter panel of the car. People were like, oh my God, how'd you get this picture of my car or whatever? So it was that. And then like a couple weeks later was my first like text from my teenage daughter. And that started a whole thing. So
it's almost like, Jerry Seinfeld's style of writing in a way where it's like you're just calling attention to the most mundane things, but like there's so much humor in those moments and people love stuff that they can relate to. So it's really no wonder that like people started sharing it and saying, you got to see this.
Well, yeah, I think I mean, social media has got its advantages and disadvantages, but that is one of the cool things is like, especially for parenting stuff. 'Cause like, as a parent, you have a very small sample size of like what it's like for how kids behave and like what it's like to be a parent and what you see. And so you don't necessarily know, like, is this normal or not? And so those are some of my favorite comments that I get is like, oh, I guess we're totally normal. Like I thought my kid was like really weird, or I was like the worst parent in the world, but I guess this is like completely average,
Yeah. There's something really magical about that specifically. I mean, there's definitely like, what's that word? Like Schadenfreude, where it's like when we see someone else like fail and we get, or whatever, and we get like a little bit of joy out of that. There's a version of that that's this also, you know, that it's this feeling of validation, or this feeling of like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one, you know. And I don't know, they're just a testament to we still are very attracted to just really real human experience, like the human experience, the most real version of it that we can all, maybe not all relate to, but like understand, you know, is still something that just is very attractive to us as a species, which I feel like is a good thing.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like just, connecting with real stuff and relating to other people is true. There's something about there's something about my account too that's like, because it's authentic and it's driven from real life, like it connects in a way. Like I remember like one time early on, before it became like other families' texts that they would share with me when it was kind of just my kids. Like at one point I said to my daughter, I'm like, you haven't sent me anything like funny in like the longest time. Like, and she's like, just start making it up. Like, who cares? You know? And I'm like, there's no way I can make this stuff up. It's like, there's something that's so funny about the way teenagers communicate and so real. Like I could try forever and it wouldn't work, you know?
Well, I was going to ask, since this has gained popularity, have your kids, do they think about what they're going to text you a little more before they text, or like filter themselves knowing that it may become public?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get a ton of texts from them anymore. I guess. I mean, it varies by age, as you'll see as they get older. Like, you know, for a while, like my son's in college actually, and he's actually texts quite a lot more since he's gone to college. I don't get a ton from my daughter these days, but that's why it was good that I kind of diversified into like other people's kids. But I mean, in general, they're not like super impressed with me or whatever. The new book has like little mini sections where they like roast me, and there's like a foreword that's like from the Leighton children, which kind of has some of the things they've said to me over time. But like I remember when my first book, What Time Is Noon, became a New York Times bestseller, I told my daughter that, and her response was, every book says that. So, you know, they're tough to impress.
Jeez.
All the big ones that you've heard of. Yeah. There's many, 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 many more millions that.
Exactly. Right.
Do not.
That's really funny.
Too funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious, do they, if there is something like an exchange between you and your kids, like via text or whatever, are they really aware? Like do they ever go back and look at something that they've texted you and then texted you to be like, can that one not be, can that one not be part of the thing? You know, like, do they ever try to veto things or roll back things that they've said?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened actually. And I mean, I will say that I'm always like careful. Like I don't use something, whether it's my own kids or anybody's kid, that's going to like make a kid look really bad, you know, like right. I've been sent plenty of stuff that's like, I know the kid would look really rude, or like just it wouldn't come off well. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to make fun of anything. I'm just trying to like call out these funny kind of goofy things that just happen that aren't like none of the stuff I do is like really serious, you know. So that I probably wouldn't use something that somebody would feel that way about anyway, you know.
Yeah.
It is funny though, and like maybe worth exploring a little bit that like of course it's all just done in good nature, and they're super funny, and it's like just easy things to laugh at. And I'm sure your kids are brilliant, but like some of the questions or statements, like you're like, how do you not know that, you know? And I even have that with my own kids again at 12 and 9. I'm like, how do you not know how to do what you're asking me about right now? I guess like, what does it say about how we view teenagers today? Or like, you know, we're not laughing at them, we're laughing with them. But like, I guess I'm not sure exactly what the question is, but knowing that you're coming at this from a good natured place and it's all for fun and not laughing at them, like, how do we sort of square that up with like, some of these do make them sound like maybe you should know a little bit more about this?
I mean, there are a few doozies in there. I was thinking of one that this kid was like, go to the doctor's office and he's like, hey, I'm standing outside. Do I just go in where it says entrance? You know, it's like, oh, you might be able to figure that one out. You know? But the thing is, I think it is actually a good thing that kids will reach out with these crazy questions to their parents, because for most of the stuff, they could easily find the answer on YouTube or Google or like wherever, you know, TikTok or wherever, right? But I think it's good that they have a comfort level that they're willing to go to their parents, and it's a connection point, right? And even after they're like when they're in college or out of the house, it's kind of nice actually that they think of you to go to and not not somebody else or online or whatever. So I kind of think it's a good thing, and obviously it's great for my content, so I like it for that reason.
Yeah, it's fine. Yes, I was just thinking exactly that. Like there is something really interesting, special, maybe different about this generation, because I'm trying to think back. Like, yes, I've had the same thoughts, you know, that like I should probably know this, but I don't know this. But by and large, I'm sure I just never asked. You know, I probably just never went to my parents and asked the question. And of course, I'm not, you know, there was no Google, right? When I was younger. So there is something really interesting and great about the fact that they are just unabashedly like asking questions about like, you know, where do you get pasta water? You know, it's like there's something great that there's this mechanism in this generation to, I guess, be inquisitive in that way.
Right. And they're growing up at a time when you don't really need to know stuff in the way that we needed to know stuff, right? Because like when I was growing up, I didn't know something, like I couldn't look it up on a phone right away. It was like you really did have to learn it. And like, you know, my dad like taught us all how to change a car tire. I remember that whole thing. And it's like, how else would I know? Right. And so, so it is different for kids today, because they just need to know where to go for the answer. Right. And that's easier and easier. But, and I get a lot of parents sometimes on some of my posts would be like, oh, we need to teach, like, you know, we used to teach home economics or whatever in school, or teach kids about, you know, writing checks and stuff like that. And so my daughter, actually, they have that actually in my daughter's school, and she took that like last semester, I think it was. And it's like, it's actually one of the most popular classes, and they literally teach them to like, change a tire and like sew, you know, a shirt, or, you know, put a button back on. Wow. And they teach them about like bank accounts, and the kids actually love it. So there is something about like, maybe we probably could teach a little more of that practical stuff. You know, I think kids would actually enjoy that.
Well, as it turns out, there's social media channels for that stuff too, including, and the one that comes to mind for me is Dad Advice from Bo. I don't know if you're aware of.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, I've probably seen it.
Yeah, he's it's a dad, and he collaborates with his daughter on this. But yeah, just giving short, actionable lessons on how to do things that everybody should know how to do, but maybe they didn't have a parent in their life to teach that to, or to ask about. So
it feels like there's something. I mean, again, maybe I'm just stating the obvious, but like, I think when we were kids, our world was only so big, you know, because we could only access so much of it. And now, like, you can access everything, you know? And so therefore, like, as a teenager, for example, is their world just so much bigger, and there's so much more to understand, you know? I mean, yes, the question of what time is noon is maybe not. Maybe what I'm saying isn't relevant necessarily to that, but just the idea that like the world today for someone who's maybe 15 or 16 years old and lives primarily like a huge chunk of their life online, is there just so much more to understand, you know? And I wonder if that's the part of it.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it exactly that way, but right. It's like when there is that much, like, where do you start, right? You know?
Like, is it just overwhelming all the time?
Right.
You know, and the idea that, maybe now I'm going down a rabbit hole, and the idea that like they know the answer is maybe just right here, you know, like we didn't have the thing to fall back on, right? It was like, Dad's going to teach us how to change the tire. I have to remember that. I have to like log it away and remember it on the off chance that I actually need it however many years from now. Whereas it's like, if my dad taught me today, I would barely pay attention and then say, I'm just gonna look it up when it happens.
Right.
You know, like I'm not gonna retain it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. For the record, I've never changed a tire since that being taught that like 40 years ago, whatever it was. But I have AAA, so it's like, but still, it's like I feel good knowing that I could, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned your first book, What Time Is Noon. You have another father-themed book that has come out. It's called Dad Can You Not? A Dad's Guide to Being Less Cringy. What can you tell us? Give us the elevator pitch for that book.
Yeah. Well, I figured who better to write a book about being less cringy than me. But it's a little bit of, I'm turning the tables a little bit on this one in that it's puts dad at the center of it. And it's a kind of tongue-in-cheek guide on being less cringy. So it's like, it's full of like tons of these stories that people have shared with me online about just like crazy, funny stuff that dads do. So it's sort of like things to avoid. It's stuff like there's a dad who ate an entire bowl of Thousand Island dressing because he thought it was soup. You know, it's like those kind of mistakes. And so there's lots of that in there. There are a bunch of teenager texts, like 2 are about dad in there, and different advice about texting and social media and stuff like that. So it's like a fun light read, just like my first book was. And obviously I think it makes a great Father's Day gift because we know Father's Day gifts are terrible in general. So this one, will make dad laugh and he might learn a thing or two. So it's kind of a win-win for the family. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's just a fun book.
And where do you like to direct people to go to purchase your books?
So you can get them anywhere, pretty much anywhere books are sold. I mean, I have links on my socials, and my socials and my website are the Leighton Show, Leighton. But local booksellers are always a great option to support as well. Yeah.
You also work a more traditional corporate job, correct?
I did. I left that actually.
You did.
So, yeah.
Oh, you left that because of the success of the Leighton Show?
Kind of, yeah. So I spent like 25 years in the corporate world, had a pretty successful career, and I started this whole thing while I was working full time, and I did both for a couple of years, and I was just doing this nights and weekends, and it was starting to get bigger, and I knew I wanted to write a book and do some other things, and I just knew I probably couldn't do while I was working, and so I did eventually make the decision to leave the job and do this full time. It's not like full time, but it's what I do, and it's been great. No, it's like this. I'm very lucky to have this like second chapter in my career and life, and it itself has led to funny moments and stuff. You can guess the feedback from my kids when I left my real job. It's like for a while my daughter was calling me the unemployed middle-aged TikToker, which is factually correct. I will have to say that, but it's not. I don't put that in my bio. But
there are more euphemistic ways to present that. Yeah,
but it was an interesting transition because like, when I first started out, it was like TikTok wasn't like, which is where I started, like wasn't fully mainstream. And so, and I honestly never thought anyone I knew in real life would see the stuff I was posting there. But then when it started to go, like, people at work were like, "Hey, I saw you on TikTok. Like, what's going on? Everything okay?" Whatever. So it's been kind of a weird career journey, but but like I said, I'm really lucky.
And now you're taking it on the road as well. I see that you've got a show in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So for those listeners in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Chip's going to be in Portsmouth at the Music Hall Lounge on June 13th. Is that like a one-off show, or is this part of a tour?
It's not a tour per se. I do kind of one-off things. Yeah, that's been the other fun part of this adventure is I do some like events and performances and speaking. And so, I've done the Music Hall Lounge once before for my first book. That's a great venue, but I've been doing like some, like colleges for like family weekend kind of things, or I did reunion weekend actually at Bowdoin, last year. And so, which is a great, audience for me, like parents of college kids, like obviously they like really relate to my stuff. And it's been fun kind of taking that and bringing it to life live. I use like a screen behind me, and I use different visuals and show funny text and stuff like that. So, I started that like I don't know if you've ever run into Caroline Ray. She's a great stand-up comedian who spends the summer in Maine actually. And, she reached out a few years ago and was like, "Hey, I love your stuff. Do you want to do some shows together? Do you do stand-up?" And I'm like, "No, I don't, but I would love to." And she's like, "Oh, I'm a great teacher. I'll coach you over Zoom." And so we did Vinegar Hill Music Theater and the Camden Opera House like that summer. And she's given me some great tips and stuff. And I don't call what I do stand up exactly at this point because it's a little more of a hybrid kind of thing. But yeah, it is really fun to meet people in real life because everything else is like online. So it's like, even though people might send you great messages or whatever, it doesn't quite feel real as when you talk to somebody in real life and they're like, oh, we follow you, we love your stuff. So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
When you decided to make a transition from the corporate world to doing something like this full time, was that a decision that was an easy decision for you? Like, did it make sense in your mind, or was it sort of a like a seed that germinated and then kind of grew over time? Like, I'm just very curious because it's from an outsider's perspective, it just seems like, wow, what a jump to do. But like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, that's a good question because I am actually a pretty cautious person in terms of making career decisions and stuff like that. And most of my career has been pretty traditional, but what I did is I really took my time with it. And I actually decided like a year before I left that like, okay, I'm going to plan to leave. I picked a date literally like 13 months in the future, like a specific date. And I'm like, that's when I'm going to leave. I didn't tell anybody except for my wife. And I said, I'm going to give myself like 6 or 9 months to just see, does it still feel like the right decision? Is the social media thing like still growing or is it going to like go away? How are things going at work? Does it still feel like I might want to leave? And like, yeah. And so I left myself that time, and in that time, like every single thing like pointed me to the decision I made. It was like work was kind of getting more difficult and challenging, and the stuff on social was getting bigger and bigger. And so it was like, okay, I feel like a lot of people might make a snap decision like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and go do this. And I needed more time to be sure of it. And so by the time I actually pulled the trigger, I was sure. And it's been great. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to be in a position to do this. I mean, it would have been different if I was like in my 20s or something and I was trying to like make a whole career out of this for decades or something. But I started this when I was 50. So like, it's the perfect thing for me to like step back from the corporate world and just de-stress a little bit in my life and spend more time doing the things I love, but still have enough of this going that there's, enough income to kind of keep things going. And, I always tell people like who are doing this kind of thing or thinking about it, it's like diversification helps. So like having the social media is one thing, but then writing the books helps and doing some live performances and, selling merch or whatever. But it's like, I'm not making millions of dollars or anything, but you make enough from enough different sources and you can kind of put it together, and my wife works too.
Yeah. That helps. That's fascinating. Yeah. That's very interesting to me. Yeah. It seems like, I don't know. It's funny. I was just talking with my kids the other day at dinner and we were just asking, we have this like deck of cards that's like, thought-provoking questions to ask your kids, whatever. Right. So something like that. And one of the questions in there was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which I never liked the phrase, what do you want to be when you grow up? So I altered it to say like, what kind of job do you want to do? My kids are 8 years old, and both of them, YouTuber was part of their answer.
Wow. Interesting.
Which is just, I guess that's just the world they're growing up in and whatnot. But it's interesting to me because it does seem like such an attainable thing because you see people out there all the time doing it and it feels like it's one of those things. But those of us who grow up in a corporate world or like for me, like in the agency world where I've just worked professionally my whole life and in marketing where I dance around this space, it still seems like one of those things that it's like, yeah, but it must take a lot of work and a little bit of luck, I suppose, to sort of be on your side to really make it work. And I just think it's, by the way, awesome that you've done that. And your content is, your content's awesome. I love it.
I appreciate it.
It just makes, it makes sense to me that it resonates with people. So I just want to say that too. Yeah.
So for parents listening, I'm going to have links to all of Chip's social platforms in the episode notes. You can also visit theleightonshow.com. If you're not familiar with this content, you're going to love it. Check out his books as well. There will be links to that in the episodes as well. And once again, if you are in the Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts general area, Chip's going to be at the Music Hall Lounge in Portsmouth, New Hampshire on June 13th. And if my calendar's open, I'm going to be there. So maybe we can have a beverage together and
love that.
Laugh. So, okay. So Chip has agreed to join us for a segment. It's a little game. And Mark, sometimes you surprise me with like a little game. And
Yeah,
I had an opportunity pop up the other day that I thought would be really fun for you. And since Chip's with us, we'll have him participate as well.
Oh, man.
But it connects back to something we were talking about at the beginning of the conversation, which is vernacular. And my 12-year-old daughter came home from school with a friend who's about the same age the other day, and they were just like tossing out these words that I don't know, maybe had heard some of them, maybe not heard some of them. And I got talking with them about these words. And what I want to do now is I'm going to hold up a piece of paper that has a word on it. And I want you guys to take a stab at defining what it means. And then I'm going to play back a little soundbite of my 12-year-old daughter explaining the definition. All right.
All right.
Okay. So
This is fantastic.
okay. So here we go. The
Yeah.
first word is
Huzz?
huzz.
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 Oh, God.
Chip, what do you think?
I don't know that one. I don't know if it's related to Riz at all, but probably not. I'm trying to think if it's even a good word or a bad word.
I know some of these are tough.
I'm going to say it's a good word, and I really don't know. Like, he's got such good huzz. I don't know.
All right, Mark.
My mind went to a word that they probably definitely don't know, which is huzzah.
Ooh, good.
So I'm gonna say it's related in some way to huzzah, and maybe they use it in sort of a celebratory fashion.
I like both lines of thought. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Huzz is like the person like you have a crush on.
Like husband.
Oh,
No.
But derived from husband?
Well, yeah, kind of.
All right.
okay.
You got a crush on somebody. He's your
Crush on
huzz.
someone.
Okay,
That is okay. All right.
we're moving on.
Oh, cooked.
Let me back it up a little bit. Cooked. Okay. I feel like this is a very usable word that's can be applied to a lot of different scenarios. I think cooked can mean he's cooked, as in like he failed miserably and there's no redemption possible. But on the flip side, I think if one is cooking, they're doing like really well. And so you might say like, oh, I'm cooking, bro. I'm cooking. Like I'm building something in Minecraft and like, bro, I'm really cooking right now.
Chip, any different ideas?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, the cooking is like, it's like, let me cook, is how you often hear it from a kid, like when they're really going. But yeah, cooked is like, you're in a untenable situation.
You can either be cooked or you can be cooking.
No.
Like, say you just did like a dance on stage or something, somebody might say to you, oh, you cooked.
You can like cook, which means like if you're doing like a physical thing and you're like cooking, like you're doing good, like really good. Or you can like be getting cooked. Like if you said, I am cooked, it means like somebody's like cooking you. Like somebody's like beating you.
Oh, interesting.
I'm a little unclear on that one too. It seems like there's a positive and a negative.
yeah. I think
Well,
that's
no, the
it.
way she said
I
it at the
think
end
that's
was actually illuminating. It's like the same thing, but it's
Yeah.
whether you're the subject or the object of the cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes. There you go. All right.
Yes.
We've got selling.
Selling. This one I've not.
Let me just say
heard.
for the record, my first book, What Time Is Noon, has a glossary of like teen language with like a definition
Okay.
and a usage, but none of the words that you've shown me so far are in there. So
That's funny.
It's way out of date, I'm sure. I don't know this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's all right to just throw your hands up and I'll roll the definition
All right,
if you
let's
want.
hear it.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's just.
Okay, selling's like kind of like the opposite of cooking. Like you're selling means like you're doing like bad. If you're like dancing on stage and you like mess up the dance, you could be like, "Oh, I sold."
That's
Okay.
it makes sense as she says it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Mogging.
Mogging? Oh my God. You didn't just write that down just now?
No,
to
I
mess
wish
with
I
us?
made that up. I'm going to start using it now that I know what it
Okay.
is.
Mogging. I've never heard this.
I don't know. It sounds almost like you're playing something up, like trying to like make it overly dramatic,
Ooh.
or like
Okay.
I don't know.
Here we go.
Mogging's like when you're like, it can either be like, cooked is more when you're doing like a physical action, but mogging is like you're just doing good. You're just like being good. working it, like you're mugging.
What's an example? Use it in a sentence.
My hair looks so good today. I'm mugging.
It seems like what she's saying is whereas if you're cooking, you are like trying to do something. You're like trying to do maybe a good job at something or try to avoid doing a bad job at something. Whereas mogging makes it seem like it's more like just a natural state.
I think
sort
that's
of thing.
I think that's the adult explanation of what she was trying to say. Okay, here we go.
Oh, chopped. Yeah, of course.
All right, Chip knows chopped.
No, you're not looking good. You're looking chopped. It's not good. Yeah.
Mark, anything to add?
That's how I understand it. Yes.
Chopped is like the opposite of mugging. It means like you like don't look good today. Like if you are having a bad hair day, you can say like, "Oh, I'm so chopped.
Yeah.
I look so chopped today."
Okay.
I like that it's an opposite of mogging. Fa?
Fa. It's fa.
Well, that's like in Maine when someone's pointing to something that's not very close.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right?
That's it.
It means like if someone like does bad at something, you can be like, "Fa, you're cooked." Or like
Fa,
on a
you're
science
cooked.
test, my science teacher said when people didn't know the answer, they just rewrote the problem as their answer. And when he told that to the class, everyone was like, "Fa."
So I'm right with you on that. I have no clue. No clue.
It's like is it an example of like, what's the word? Like onomatopoeia? Like, is it more,
I don't know.
is it an actual word, or is this just like a sound exclamation or something?
I don't think we know. All right,
Weird.
a few more.
So weird. Scuba.
Yep.
Never heard this. Not in this context.
Chip.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it something about like diving deep and into something? Or, I don't know.
I like that.
Can I go out on a limb
Please.
and say it's like it's similar to like putting your foot in your mouth or like digging one's own grave. Is it in that?
I wish it was that deep.
Okay.
Here we go.
Scuba is like kind of like 6'7". It's like something you say and you do this motion and you like put one hand over your nose and stick the other one out and like wiggle it and it's like scuba and like you just kind of say it like whenever you want. Like
An example, please.
if someone like burns someone,
Hold on. We don't mean physically burning.
No.
If someone insults
if
someone
someone
else.
like insults someone else, you could be like scuba.
But 6'7" is also over now because parents started saying it.
Right.
So that's my 9-year-old popping in now and then just to add some color.
Apologies for ruining 6'7" for you kids. Clock it.
Clock it. I don't know. It sounds sort of like a definitive, like, chalk it up or like I did something that like I won or something. I don't know, like almost like a statement of something you achieved.
Is it like saying read 'em and weep kind of,
Like a mic drop kind of thing.
Okay, clock it is like, it's like slay, if you know what that means. It means it's like work it, like yes, you got this. So like if someone like does something good or like if they like burn someone, like insult someone, if they like toss their hair or something, you can be like clock it and you like kind of point your finger and your thumb
So
together.
there's a hand
and you're
motion
like,
that goes
"Clock
along with this
it."
one.
Yeah.
It's basically like get it.
I feel compelled to say at this point that some of the advice in my new book is like never attempt to use the words of your kid's generation. So I hope you're not I hope this isn't to actually help you use these words because you can't be saying them out loud.
Okay, disclaimer. Do not try these words at home. All right, just a couple more and we'll wrap.
Oh, 8, yeah.
8. Oh, I don't know.
8 ATE for listeners, not the number 8.
Yeah, that's like when you did well at something like, I ate that. I think I have that one in the glossary of my first book. It's like, I ate that exam like graham crackers at 2 a.m. or something like that.
Okay.
If someone ate, it means they sort of did really good. So again, like if you're dancing on stage and like it's the opposite of selling. If you did everything like great, you could be like, I ate, or like if you know you're doing great on something, or like if you're playing basketball or any sport and you like make a goal or something, you could say, oh, I'm eating. And clock it is if like someone says like, I ate or I'm eating, you could be like, clock it.
Oh my God.
So these all work seamlessly together.
do all
somehow.
work
There are a
together.
lot that seem to have their origins in like the kitchen, like cooking and eating and
chopped.
shopping.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting. Yeah.
The thing with 8 is like, I would think of that like, oh man, I ate shit on that exam. Right. It means you like,
I ate it.
You
Yeah.
did terrible, but no. Okay.
Crash out.
Crash
That means
out, yeah.
that means to like you lost it. Like you lost your shit, basically, right? Like if you're just like losing your composure, right? You're crashing out.
Chip,
Yeah,
agree? Disagree?
I think of that as like an adult expression now
Yeah.
too. Like my wife will say that. Yeah.
Okay, crash out is like kind of like a tantrum. Like if someone like did bad on something and they're like, if they get really mad, you can be like, they're having a crash out. Like if they get really mad.
meltdown.
Yeah, like a crash out.
Yeah, like a crash out.
So she clarified that they could also be a crash out.
A person can be
Billy
a
is a crash out if he does that all the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How
Okay,
versatile.
2 more to go, guys.
Tough.
Tough.
TUFF.
TUFF, tough.
I know that tough is a type of block in Minecraft.
Okay.
That's what I know about
Interesting.
I don't think that's this use.
I don't think
All
so
right, here we
either.
go.
Okay, tough is like when something like is really cool. Like if someone just like cooked at something, you can be like, bro, that was tough. And it means like that was like good, you ate. Clock it.
Now she's just like saying all
Yes.
the other words.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bro, you ate. Clock it. That was,
That was
tough.
Yeah, this is getting very circular.
Twin.
Twin.
Yep.
Got me.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, everybody's at a loss. Here's twin.
Twin is like, it's just like something you call someone. It doesn't really matter. You can just go up to someone and be like, hey, twin, or like, sup, twin.
But they don't have to be like wearing the same clothing as you?
No.
Or look like you at all?
They don't have to look like you at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's just like something you call someone like bro or like bro. You can be like twin.
Twin is just a term of endearment.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like if we lived in like Australia, it would be like mate. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's twin.
That is too funny, dude.
Well, that was
Well,
that was good.
that
I
does
learned
it.
a lot there. This is mostly how much I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was right there with you, and I wasn't keeping score, but I would say that you both did just as I expected. just as I did when I first learned them, which was not great.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
And
We did not cook or eat.
yeah. No one was tough. I don't know if I did that right. My question is, next week, what of these words are going to still be actually in use in common teenage vernacular?
Well, what we learned about 6, 7 is that grown-ups using it made it not cool. So I think if we want any of these to fade out, all we got to do is start
Just
working
start
them
saying
into
them.
our conversations, and they'll disappear.
And then
Be
there'll
replaced with something equally as dumb.
be exactly.
Absolutely.
go.
Chip, thanks so much for your time. It was really great meeting you, and best of luck with the socials, the books, the live shows, and look forward to connecting in person sometime soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. That was fun.
Thanks, Chip.
Dads and moms listening, moderndadhood.com is the place, right, where you can find all of the past episodes. You can search by topic or by guest. We're on all the social platforms, like, well, not all of them, most of them, like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Friendster.
Find us in those places.
Yeah. Yeah. Plosives.
Plosives is a new social platform that
Yes,
you
the
just
new-
started.
Yep, I just started it. Yep. You can go to our website and buy a Modern Dad hoodie for yourself or for a friend. There's also T-shirts, very comfortable. They all come shipped with a free sticker, which you could put on your car and advertise the show for us if you'd like,
Or your laptop.
or your notebook, or your Stanley mug, Yeti mug. What does everybody have these days?
Stanley's the cool one for kids.
Is it?
Although now that I said that, it's not going to be cool anymore.
No, dude, that's like so 6'7".
Thank you to Casper Babypants and Spencer Albee for the music in Modern Dadhood. Thanks to Chip Leighton for joining us and for all of his hilarious content. And Mark Andrew Checkett
would like to say thank you for listening.